Hello, my name is Jung-hyun Kim. From now on, I will explain the economic analysis about the article. This is Economics 2 midterm project. Let's start it. First of all, I will talk about Ukraine problems. There are Ukraine revolution because of conflict between Ukraine and Russia. This revolution happened at February 2014 and it is not concluded yet. Because of globalization, Ukraine revolution is not restricted to the Ukraine and Russia. This accident affects not only to all Europe countries, but also many other continents countries. I will explain two parts, which this revolution affects to the other countries. First, it causes transportation problems. Russia is the largest natural gas producer in the world, and almost this gas goes to Europe countries through the pipe, which are grounded under the Ukraine. And Ukraine is the also most granary and also its transportation way from Russia to Europe countries. But due to the revolution, Russia cannot transport their natural gas and crops peacefully. And thus, it makes the price of natural gas and crops higher. Second problem is the exchange rate. Revolution in the country makes the state of economic market unstable, and this causes investors to withdraw their money. This can make negative effect to the exchange market, and thus, according to this graph, Russian rubles to $1 ratio has increased their Ukraine revolution. This is additional economic analysis. In this article, we can notice that war or revolution can make real infrastructure damage. We already studied about GDP, and also we studied about that GDP is not a perfect measure of well-being. If there are violent revolution and some infrastructure damage, it is harmful to the public's well-being. However, governments need to rebuild the infrastructure, and it can be positive to the GDP. And this is the limitation of GDP. Next, I will explain problems about China. Before explaining the China economic problem, I will explain about two concepts of companies: state-owned enterprises and local government financing vehicles. We usually call it SOES and it called LGFVS. State-owned enterprises are set up by the central government, and local government financial vehicles are set up by the local governments. But they both have debt problem, especially in real estate sector. According to this graph, the LGFVS and government debt ratio has increased, and thus they have debt problem. Second thing is hard landing. Many economists worried about the Chinese hard landing. Hard landing is rapidly shifting from growth to recession. It causes high inflation or unemployment rate. But in this article, chief economist of China Bank said that China is relatively safe. There are three reasons which China is safer from hard landing problem. First one is export, and internet, and healthcare area. China recovers export ratio this third quarter. And many potential internet companies such as Alibaba were listed on the stock market, and there are many other potential companies which are not listed yet. Lastly, China opens to the private capital about healthcare. Because of huge population in China, this field can be very beneficial to them. Next, I will explain about problems about the United States. These are problems about the United States. The problem in the United States is caused by income distribution. This graph shows that there are huge income gap in the United States. This makes demand problem in the internal market, and this also causes underinvestment because of the huge connection between firms and households. Let's see the production function about this problem. This production function is a graph or equation showing the relation between output and inputs. There are 4 components which are added in the production function: physical capital, human capital, natural resources, and technological knowledge. Demand problem and physical capital stock problem have strong relation with each other. There are 2 concepts to solve the market problem about monetary policy. One is tapering, and the other one is tightening. These concepts are both based on the reduction of quantitative easing, but there are some differences. Tapering can prevent inflation, but currency value of developing countries such as Turkey or Argentina can be decreased radically. On the other hand, tightening can cause rising in the rate of interest. This is another solution. This solution is called monetary policy normalization. This solution, Janet Yellen, the chair of board of Federal Reserve Bank, argued this idea, but it is also not complete. It can make problems in the developing countries. Monetary policy normalization can cause the outflow of capital and real economy weaker and make the price of the financial asset decreases in the developing countries. These 2 solutions, which I mentioned before, are both have problems. Then how can we solve it? In fact, there are no perfect solutions for economic problems, but many economists and politicians gathered in this IMF World Bank General Meeting and conclude solutions. They are 3 things: fiscal policy, monetary policy, and structural reforms. The main point is structural reforms. This idea seems a little bit progressive, but it can help to secure today's economic growth and strengthen future potential growth rate. This is my presentation, and thank you for listening.